Hi everybody, this is a video to promote, now I'm not going to swing on my chair. This is a video to promote my new book called How to Get Over 70% in a Law Exam. And I assess what the vast majority of people are looking for and then I write on that topic. So I found that the vast majority of people were looking for tips on how to get over 70% in an exam. So that's why I wrote the book. God, why is such a long-winded approach? Okay, so the book is available on my website, but this video is like a teaser of what's in there. And so I have it up here in front of me. And what I'll do is I'll just go down through some of the chapters. So the first one explains how law school operates, and when I say law school I just mean an undergraduate law degree in Ireland, how it operates, how it's taught, kind of what's the principles behind it. And that's important because that sets the foundation about how the subjects actually operate, and that's the second chapter. We'll go down through that. Now the third chapter, how to study law, I'm just going to click into it. That is probably the most important bit and probably why you came to this video, and that's because your approach to studying law, in my opinion, is everything. And I have this concept called the legal scientist, which came from the word Rechtswissenschaften, which is the German word for legal studies. They actually call it legal studies, but the direct translation is legal science. And when you start thinking in that approach, as in the scientific approach as I call it, you start to actually look at your work in a different way. So I like to think of it as you are a free thinking person, you have your own opinion, but there's obviously legislation and case law. And the layer you put on top of that, and I'll discuss later what the qualitative, quantitative approaches, is your opinion. And a lot of the time you will be asked your opinion, and that opinion doesn't have to be right, but it has to be less wrong than the baseline. The baseline is kind of the accepted reasoning. You're allowed to have far out reasoning if you've done the research. You write a master thesis. A thesis is a proposition that you back up with evidence, and you've evidenced your proposition throughout the master thesis. So for example, in my master thesis I was looking at an EU regulation that was about to come into law, and I had to make kind of a forward judgment as to whether I thought that the legislation would be a good thing. And actually it was interesting, a lot of the industry players were saying it was going to be a bad thing, but from all the evidence I got as kind of a neutral academic, I made the case. And that's all law is, you're constantly making a case. It's a scientific argument that it was going to be good. So in order to have a scientific approach, you need to have an effective routine. And I go down through all of that, how to make a routine, how to organise your readings, how this interacts with the tutorials and lectures and all of that. Then I go and I talk about note-taking and the concept of disfluency, which is a breakage in the flow of information. And that's why, for example, books are more powerful than videos. And I know we're listening to a video now, but that's why I'm telling you to go, sorry my nose is running, that's why I'm telling you to go and buy the book, because there's a difference in learning between video and books. With books you are taking in the written word, but there's a gap, and the gap comes from a blockage in information between you and the written word. Whereas with video, it kind of just flows in because you're being given like an image, someone's speaking, and you're just listening to the voice. There's no real breakage and flow of information. Whereas with words, you actually have to process them, you have to read them, there's more steps to it, but actually it means that you will retain it more. And then when it comes to note taking, that principle applies again, because when you're typing up notes and you're taking down stuff verbatim, this is not just fluency, therefore it's not the most effective way to study. The best thing to do is to handwrite it out and then type it afterwards. Then I go down through how to write law essays, and then the most important, kind of like the answer of how to get over 70% in every exam, is the concept of critical analysis. So again, this comes back to being a legal scientist. If you don't know the basics, how can you provide analysis? And then on top of that, how can you be critical? So you break it up, critical and analysis. So what are you analysing? Well, first of all, what you're analysing is the qualitative evidence before you. Quantitative evidence before you. So the clue is in the word quantity. It's the quantity of facts you're given. And I go down through, I use the example of what is an offer in contract law. Because when you're asked what is an offer in contract law, you're normally given a number of facts. So it might be the Boots case, it might be Partridge v Crittenden, it might be the Lefkowitz v Great Minneapolis. You're given a number of facts, okay? And then you know what the case law that has preceded these cases are. You know what the general line of argument is, and that layer is the quantitative. So you're making an informed decision based on what has gone before you, and that is critical analysis. And I explain all of that in that chapter, how to study law. Then the fourth chapter are all of my productivity tips, and I go really, really deep here. So I begin with the theory of delayed gratification, and this is based on the marshmallow experiment. I explain all of that. I explain how the brain operates. Then I go down through goal setting principles. So like obviously all of this chapter, productivity, is not just applicable to being a law student. You can use it anywhere. And then I explained to you how habits are formed using Charles Duhigg's cue, routine, reward. So for example, the cue could be I wake up in the morning, routine is I brush my teeth, and the reward is I feel that tingly freshness after brushing my teeth. And actually, when you read Charles Duhigg's book, that like mintiness that's in toothpaste, when they figured out about habit loops, they realized that there was no reward in brushing your teeth. Like there was no tangible kind of something you could actually describe after brushing your teeth. So that's why they added mint to toothpaste. So there you go. You know, and then I have the hop on the plane routine. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but that's something I designed myself for productivity. That's my own secret. You have to read the chapter. I can't explain it here. Then I go down through how extracurricular activities can actually increase your chances of getting first class honours. Then I talk about how your social life, your mental health, and your social habits can either increase or decrease your chance of getting a first class honours. And then finally, once you've got the first class honours, I have a chapter on what to do with it, because a lot of the time people just go straight for the training contract. They totally ignore the fact that they got first class honours means that they're an excellent academic and would probably be really suited for a career in academia. So I discuss all of that, highs and lows, ups and downs about the LLM and all of that. So yeah, that's the book in a nutshell. It's available on my website. I'm really proud of it. the chapter on productivity, I'm just looking at it here, that actually I've never brought all of my productivity tips together in one place, so I even think that chapter alone is amazing. Not to blow my own trumpet, but it really helped me, like, for the last few weeks. I've used that chapter time and time again. I didn't realise that how important it was, and I felt like I had to put it in there. Yeah, I think I might even do more about that. But yeah, so it's available on my website. If you have any queries about it, just let me know. See, this is what's going to happen with this fringe. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.